Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media account. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I did finish the week with 14 wins and 4 losses for a win rate of 77.78% for the week, below my 85% goal. I took a couple of trades I probably shouldn't have, but I'm not going to be perfect every week, so it's just part of trading. It's been kind of difficult to trade a little bit this past few weeks. A lot of fake outs, a lot of just straight up moves, and it's just not been very favorable for the last few weeks. So you just got to take trades when you can, when you see something that looks good. And yeah, anyways, traded this on Monday, which was the 17th. SPY calls off 449.50, which is what, 17th right here. Had a fade day on Friday, and kind of like chopping a little bit down here on Sunday and Monday morning. But I figured, okay, let's see, where are we right here. One of the things I was thinking was earnings run up. We had earnings coming up this week. This past week we had earnings with the financials, and next week we have tech. So I was looking at it from the point of view that we're probably going to end up having like an earnings run up, excitement, and usually that's what ends up happening, even though everything's really overbought. But I was thinking that if it does run up, we were probably going to drop after the tech earnings, or even if we didn't run up, we were going to chop until we got the tech earnings. So I was either looking for a run up or some sideways action. So that's why I was looking at calls at 39, the 449.50, which was for some reason I picked way up here. I can see the pivot right here. You can see the support and the resistance right there. So plus we were right when I think I said it, I think it was right around here when I posted the trade ideas room, and it was right around the 449. I definitely didn't want to put 449.25 because it was right there. So another reason why I picked the 449.50, gave it a little bit of room in case it popped. But I don't like posting in the trade ideas room that if it's at 449, that 25 cents up. That's the area, because the fluctuation at open can get you in a position, then turn around and just slam it on you. So I try to give a decent area to grab it. It's not too close to where the price action is when I'm posting it in pre-market. So my first play was at 1022, which was right here. 1022 right here. I played calls. I played 45.15 calls at $6. I grabbed it right here. It pulled back, then it popped, and it actually did end up popping. So it ended up being a nice little play. It went from $6 to $8.70. Not quite sure why I took it here. I know that I was waiting out the first half an hour. I think this was the first few days. I was waiting out the first half an hour. Mondays haven't been a very good day for me for some reason. Mondays have just been, I don't do too well at open on Mondays. I don't know why that is. Sometimes I just do really well on Mondays, but majority of the time I don't. So I think that I just decided that I'm going to sit out the first half an hour because of the fake outs. And then right here, there's a fake out right here. We get the first green candle. Didn't quite go to lower day, didn't go to high day. Then it got to high day right here. And then it popped. I mean, you could have even took it right over the 449.50 right here over the body of these two candles. But I feel like at the first 30 minutes, there's so much chop and volatility. I mean, look at right here on Friday that you get in, then it drops. I think I actually took this. I don't remember. I think I took this on Friday. Then I ended up taking a loss. I don't remember, but it looks familiar. I remember one the days last week, I did do that. Ended up being a fake up me, but look at this. It popped higher day and then dropped down to near lower day and then back to higher day and then back down to lower day, back to higher day, all within a few candles. I mean, it's impossible to trade something like that when it's being bipolar, going a higher day, lower day. And it's not like if the candles are small. I mean, these are 451. These are dollar candles right here. So that's just ridiculous. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll wait out the first 30 minutes this Monday. I might even do the same tomorrow. I don't know. We'll have to see. So I didn't take that. I could have. And then I put in a red candle. Then it came over to here, higher day over 450. Yeah, 450. Thinking, okay, they're going to push this. And they rejected a little bit. Bounced around 450. Then took off. But ended up working out. My nerve-wracking trade. I do remember this trade, and I was like, I thought I was going to take a loss, but it still stayed above VWAP, and it still was pushing up. So I stayed in it, and it ended up working out some. And then I just didn't feel comfortable. Excuse me. Trading this, I didn't want to buy calls. I think the VIX. I'll have to post VIX up on the other side. So I think VIX this day was very low, and yeah. Where is it? Right here. 17th. And this is the thing I didn't like right here. The time this dropped really, really nice, right below 1350. Right when let's see, where's this? 1230. Yeah. See this right here, it's chopping right in here. It's chopping. I didn't want to buy calls. I mean, you could have bought calls right here over 450, 75, or 70, but I didn't like how VIX was staying elevated, and SPY was actually going up. VIX was actually climbing with SPY. I did not like that, so I was just like, okay, I'm not touching this. I'm not touching this at all. Then eventually VIX started to drift down as SPY was going up, and I just did not like that. But the funny thing is, VIX has been doing lately is when SPY is crazy, being crazy and going up, VIX will pop, and people will get excited to think that because VIX is popping, it's going to dump, and usually that is the case. But lately, over the past month or so, that VIX pops when SPY is going or going sideways, for VIX to have room to go down more and give SPY more room to go up. That's basically just gives an opportunity for SPY to go more. So this is something that's been happening a lot lately, and you just got to make a mental note of that. One of these days, VIX is going to have a massive pop, but the question is when and what will be the cause of it. And then it broke out here. To me, I didn't want to buy that. It would have been a good play. But look at this. What time is this? 15:10, which is right here. This bit didn't really drop. If anything, it had a green candle to it, and it pushed up. It just, I don't like that. I don't like VIX running with SPY, because 9 out of 10 times in the past when VIX runs with SPY, there's a huge dump coming. When they diverge like that, a dump is coming. So I always got to remember that. But once in a while, it gives SPY more room to run, and lately that's been the theme. So I only took two trades this day on Monday. So the other trade was at 236, which was right 236 right here, I think. Yeah, right there. And I see why I grabbed it here. You get the small candles here, small candles here. Broke high day, ended up being a fake out, came back down. Once it got below the 450.75 area, I grabbed 45.20 puts at 250, and they went from 250 to $3 right there. So I definitely get why I grabbed it here, but I was not going to buy calls here. No way. I probably should have bought puts up here, but I didn't. I'm not quite sure why I didn't, but the area to buy probably would have been below this 451.20 area, 25 area, 451.30. But for some reason, I just didn't trust it was going to dump. I don't know. I just didn't like the action. I hate these straight up moves. I really, really hate them. Even though the end of the day wasn't really a straight up, I should have known that this was going to end up selling off. Oh, yeah, this was, I believe this was the day Microsoft had the AI. Was that it? Let's see. Was that the AI news? No, that was the 18th. Okay, that was not. Yeah, I thought that pop might have been Microsoft AI thing that they had going on. So, but yeah, didn't trade much. I definitely was not buying calls right here, but I could have bought puts right there. But like I always say, it's easy to look at things after the fact and see where you could have taken it. And so one thing I cannot stand, I'm going to rant a little bit. I cannot stand looking on Twitter and people posting charts saying you should have took puts here, you should have took calls here, you should have took put. You know what? It's so easy to look at things after it's all said and done and seeing the plays. But when you're going in real time and you're processing all this information, what VIX is doing, what SPY is doing, the news, the market, and what other things are doing. You're processing all these things in real time, and you need to make decisions not knowing what is going to happen. So it's when you get these idiots online on Twitter that post these things saying, you should have bought here, you should have bought there. They're just dumb. They're just idiots. And I really can't stand people that do that, because it's always easy to look at it after the fact and say, oh, it's so easy to trade. Anybody can do it. But yeah, try doing it in real time and not showing your charts after the fact when it's already said and done. You know what it already looks like. That really burns me, and that really pisses me off. I can't stand people like that. And Twitter's full of them, so avoid people. Don't even, if you're following people like that, unfollow them, because they're just idiots. So, enough of the rant. Let's see. Tuesday, I did not do so well. I took two losses, and it's a straight up day. These days, I hate them. It's chase and chop. Traded Israel on the 18th. SPY calls over 451. It's sitting sideways, still thinking it's going to have a nice run up on earnings. 451 is just high right here from pre-market high. Looks good. I should have stayed with it, but some reason I took puts at what? Oh, at 1021, which is right up here. Okay, I didn't take it. I waited it out. I waited out the first half an hour again. I shouldn't have. I should have just taken the 451. I should have just taken it. That would have been a good play. I know many people in the room did take it still, and congrats to them. They had a nice, good play. And for some reason, I thought this was the top, because this was higher day over here. Was it higher day? Yeah. This was the 451, 452 area. Well, I would say 451.85 was higher day from on Monday, and it rejected here, rejected there. Then I was like, okay, if it gets underneath this area right here, I'm gonna grab it. And I grabbed, let's see, right here. I grabbed the 45.25 puts at 470. And I don't know why I didn't take it right there. I should have taken it. Not much of a move. Why is this lagging? Toss is lagging already. This thing is okay. What's going on here? I might have to pause the video, because there we go. Yeah, 451. I mean, it got a little bit of a move. Not much. I only got like 20 cents. For some reason, it looked bigger than that. But I mean, yeah. Then right after I get in, it dropped a little bit. I could have taken it all, and then it just popped. It went against me, and it stopping out at 230. So why is toss lagging? What a piece of shit this thing is. Then the next play was 11:30. I took puts, which was right. Be nice if this thing would stop lagging. 11:30. Right here. I did it again. I kept trying to guess the top. I gotta stop doing that, because you don't know how far and ridiculous SPY is gonna be. But I did get a win out of this one. I took the 45.35 puts at 11:30, which was right here. So I took it underneath this 452.30 area, and they went from $5 to $5.80. Not much of a move. Then it popped again. Then it pulled back, and I didn't take puts here. I think at this point in time, when I took the loss here, I barely got a move out of that. I was like, okay, I'm going to stop trying to guess the top, and I'm just going to sit and wait. Then we actually had this bull flag right here. Then I switched calls at 12:33. Right here? Right here. I don't know why I took it here. I mean, I took it over. I mean, I can see the candles right here, but the better move was to take it over 453.25. But knowing me, I probably took it over these candles right here, thinking that if it got over these candles, we'd push to higher day and do maybe a double top or a fake out and come back down and not slam. And so I guess that's why I grabbed it there. So I grabbed the 45 calls at 420, and they went from 420 to 590, and ended up being a nice little win right there. Oh, this is going to drive me crazy. I'm going to have to stop the video. If Toss is going to do this the entire time, this is going to really piss me off. Okay, I did the 1233 calls. Then I took puts at 301. 301, it must be right here. 301. Right here? No. Right here. Tried to push high a day, came back down, tried to break out again, it didn't. And when I put in a red candle here and it came back down, rejected that 1, 2, and I figured, okay, it gets underneath this 453.90 area. I'm gonna grab puts. I grabbed the 45.50 puts at 160, then it pops. This thing was just relentless. But this was the 18th. This was the day Microsoft had its AI thing. I probably should have never tried to get, yeah. I should have never tried to, actually, you know, 14:50, 3 o'clock was right here. So Microsoft was actually starting to come down. So it would make sense after this massive run that Microsoft would come back down, because Microsoft was pushing the market, and because it was coming back down, SPY just wasn't having none of it. SPY was just going to say, oh, I don't care, I'm still going up. But yeah, I mean, I was watching Microsoft when the news dropped, because that's a classic FU move right here. If there's ever an FU move, it's right there. This is like a massive one. But anyways, Microsoft's coming down. Another reason why I grabbed puts, and it just popped more and ended up taking a loss. So I get why I did that, but oh well, it is what it is. Let's see. Now Wednesday, trade ideas room. Let's get VIX back up. Trade ideas room. SPY puts under 454. Let's see, where is VIX on the 19th, the 18th, 19th, right here. Okay. That's what they say. SPY puts under 454, which is down here. After this insane run up of AI, I thought, okay, this might be an area where we might actually come down, but you know, it just kept chugging and going. So I just ignored it. I think my first play was what, calls at 9:59. Big green candle open, fake out right here. And I took calls at 10 o'clock right here. So you had the pullback, bounced off VWAP. When it broke over higher day right here, regardless, SPY can just keep going and keep being ridiculous. So I took the 45.75 calls, $7. And they went from $7 to $8. Then it ended up coming back down. Then I took puts at 106. I was gone. The wife had a doctor's appointment, so I missed this. Let's see, because that happened like minutes after I left, because I had to leave at around 10:45, if I remember correctly, and this happened like within a few minutes after I left. This dumped and it rebounded back up here, back to higher day, like nothing happened. That's typical for SPY. It's been doing that almost every single day. Every time there's news, 10 minutes later, half an hour later, it acts like a spoiled toddler and forgets what happened and just back to normal. And literally, SPY acts like a child. So I took puts at 106, which was right here. Got this nice little drop right here from higher day to back to lower day. It popped a little bit, rejected the 20 EMA. Once it broke below the 454.90 area, I grabbed 45.60 puts at 480, and they went from 480 to 610. So I get a little bit of a move, not much. It was pretty choppy right here. Then I took calls at 239. I didn't take puts right here. I probably should have, but I didn't like all this chop because it just seemed like every time I got underneath the 454.90 area, it was a trap. You get under it, then it bounces. You get under it, then it bounces. And you get under it. I mean, who knows? Is it going to bounce and rip? So I just didn't like it. I ignored it. Then it finally dropped. It flushed out stops right here. People are probably buying calls. It flushed out the stops. And this is usually something you see before a big move. You can see in almost every chart. It's pretty clear. Right here, it looks like it's basing. People are probably buying calls. Then they flush out the under this area to take out stops. Then it rips. Like right here, people start going in short. Right here, and they're probably piling puts right here. Then they break high day to take out the stops, and then it dumps. I mean, anytime you see this kind of a move where it's breaking higher day, then it flushes, or it looks like it's basing, and they just do a quick knee-jerk drop to get people to take their stops, then it runs. That is just clear taking out stops. And it did it here, and it did it here. So once it did this and came back up to this area, the 455.25 area, I grabbed the 45.65 calls at 380, and then went from 380 to 570. So that ended up being a good play. They just do this all the time, and sometimes that kind of gets you in trouble too. So sometimes you think that's what's happening, and it doesn't. But because right here it's just straight up. It didn't really do it there. I'm trying to see if it actually did it anywhere else. Now it's straight up day. No, it didn't really do it there either. Made lower highs. Didn't do it there. I'm probably not going to find anything. Yeah, no. But that one I showed you for Wednesday was definitely clear for stop fishing. So now on to the 20th, which is, let's see, didn't do that well this day either. Two days with two losses. Let's see, what did I say on 20th SPY puts under 453.50, which was price was already down. He had the 454 area, so I basically just rounded down to 453. Let's see, what day was that? The 20th. Trying to look. I probably should go out a little more. Yeah, because lower day is right there on the after hours. So yeah, I can see where I picked it there. Then I just rounded down. So it would have been like 453.65. I don't like using numbers like that. I like rounding down to the nearest 50 cents or whole dollar. Makes it easy to remember. And the only time I use exact numbers is like in the middle of the intraday when there's like a bunch of candles forming like back here. Like right here, what I'd use an actual exact number like the 454.85. I'd round down to the nearest 5 cents, not use the 86, but yeah, 454.85. It's the only time I'd use an exact number over you could say over 455.20 or 455.35. That's the only time I'll do that. But pre-market, I like to round up or down to the nearest area. So let's see. SPY puts at a 453. Okay, we already covered that. First candle was green. I was like, okay, whatever. The first candle had a big, strong candle. It breaks higher day. I will grab calls. I grabbed the 45.65 calls, and then it just got slammed. I ended up stopping out at $4. I got it at $7.70 and stopped out at $4, and it just dumped. Then I grabbed puts at 10.08, which was right here, right when it broke pre-market low. That's where I decided to grab it, decided to chase it and grab it. I grabbed the 45.50 puts at 620, and then went from 620 to 12.70. So that ended up working out. That covered for the loss. So definitely happy about that. The first 30 minutes has just been rough. See, if I waited the 30 minutes, I probably wouldn't have grabbed it right there. I definitely probably would have grabbed it right here. So I didn't grab it till 10.08. So maybe I did grab it right here, because the next candle starts at 10.10. So yeah, I did grab it right here, right around 454. Yeah, I did grab it there, not down here. I grabbed it up here. Then I grabbed calls at 11:20. No, yeah, 11:28, which is right 11:28 right here. Yeah, right here. I can see why I grabbed it here. Had a big pop right there. I didn't want to chase it. It had a pullback right there. Then it came back up. Once it broke over these, you see the wick of this candle right here, the body and the body, which is 453.90. Once I get over that, that's where I took calls. I took the 445.55 calls at 510, and they went from 510 to 715, so it ended up being a good play. Then I took calls again at 134. 134. Right here. This was the area where I got caught. I grabbed the 45.50 calls at 520, and then it just dropped, and I ended up cutting it $1. I cut it way too late, but I thought this was going to be one of those moves like I showed earlier where exactly like that. It had the consolidation that it knifed a little bit. It was just taking out stops and it was going to rip. Then it just kept dropping. So I was like, okay, whatever. Then I took puts at 315, which is down here. Yep, right there. Got these big nasty drop right here. Green candle, FU candle right there. Got these little candles pushing it down. Once it broke below the 452.10 area, that's where I grabbed the 45.40 puts at 650, and they went from 650 to 1230. That ended up being a really, really nice play. SPY just gets going in one direction and does not stop. That's just how it's been. 2 losses that day. I got 3 wins. Got a couple some nice new plays, good plays at the end. So now on to Friday the 21st. Yeah. Friday had 4 good plays. Traded his room, SPY puts, and a 453. Let's see, 453. I just grabbed it. I just called it down here. It was going up way too much, so I said 453 down here. I mean, it's really nothing to go from right there. I mean, I could have used this area right here, 453.50, but I just was like, okay, this is a huge run up. We'll just go 453 and we'll just call it at that. It's kind of hard to call levels and areas you're looking at when you get a monster move like before the market, but it started to drop right here 20 minutes before the market opened. First candle was a deep red candle, and once it broke lower day, I grabbed the 45 on the second 10-minute candle right here, which was the 453.40 area. I grabbed 45 puts at 710, and they went from 710 to 1390. That ended up being a nice play. Then I grabbed puts again at 1135, which is right here. No, why didn't I grab it right there? That would have been the perfect move right there. Got the drop right there, came back up, broke below the body of this candle, and it flushed down. I didn't grab it. I waited until what? 1135, which is what, right here? Oh yeah, I remember this. I took it right here. It's pushing up. It's getting around the top. I took it right here, right when it broke below the 453.65 area. Yeah, I think I took it in this candle right here. No, I took calls. Wait. 1135. Yeah, I took puts right here. Yeah, okay. This is what okay. Yeah, I remember now. I took puts right here. I took puts right here at the 453.65. Got the little move right there. So those puts ended up going from, I guess I had the 45.50 puts at 650, and then went from 650 to 920. You get that massive drop right there. Then you get this, blow it up so you can see. Then you get this massive wick. It dropped harshly and got bought back up really, really quickly. And whenever it usually does this, it drops quickly and comes back to higher day or this area, usually wants to break it. So once it got over this 453.85 area, I jumped into calls right away. I got on a 45.50 call at $7. Then it dropped. Then I ended up adding more at 12.15, which is right here, right when it started, right at the VWAP area. I added more at $4, making my new average of $4.75. Yes, I bought it here, came to VWAP. I got right below VWAP. This is where I grabbed it, taking it taking the chance that, assuming it was going to get bought up like this candle right here, very, very risky chance. I just took it just to see what would happen. If it didn't work, I'd dump it. So I added more at 4, like my new average of 475. I think I had 5 and I added 15 if I remember correctly. I don't remember, maybe. And then it popped. So I was able to get out. It went to 530. I had my new average was 475, so I was able to get out. Then it dumped. Then I waited and I took puts at 255, which is right here. This was a good move. Dropped right here. It did not break high. Well, I guess it did break high today. It was a fake out. Pull back, tried to break again. Didn't work out, and just dumped down the VWAP. Then you had it got bought at VWAP, VWAP bought, VWAP bought. It tried to bounce, made a lower high, and once it broke below this 453.35 area, that's when I grabbed puts. I grabbed a 45.50 puts at 530. Then it just dumped, and then went from 530 to $13 for a 100% plus move. So that ended up working out really, really, really well. Had a couple good trades. This was kind of I probably could have. There's a couple of trades I could have avoided, especially this one I could have avoided. I could have just waited, but that was a bad trade. This one, this was kind of a gunslinger trade. I had a good reason for buying it here, but when I averaged down here, that was definitely a gunslinger kind of move, and really risky that could have gone against me. And I would have cut it if it did, but it ended up working out. But sometimes you just got to take some risks and go with your gut. But it is what it is. You're not going to win every trade. Nothing's 100%. No indicator. And that's another thing I want to rant about. Everybody keeps looking around like they're going to find this magic indicator. And there's no magic indicator. No indicator is going to be 100%. There's some that are going to work better than others. And, if you've been in the room for a long time, I used to play the 20 EMA, the 200 EMA, VWAP rejections and support and resistance as support and resistance. I used to play them all the time, but lately they just haven't been working out. They just haven't been rejecting or supporting the EMA. So I've just been kind of like sitting on the sidelines and just going based off the candlesticks and not the actual moving averages. So don't sit there and try to be focused on the magic indicators, because there's no magic indicator. You can use indicators to make to give you confirmation of a move and stuff like that, but don't go solely based on indicator, because there's no sure 100% indicator. Most are like 50%, some are more like 80 to 90, but there is no 100%. So don't get all wrapped up in indicators. Just find a couple and stick with them, and the market is going to evolve and is going to change. What indicator works now is not going to work in 2 months or 6 months or a year, and then they may not work right now. Then they'll start working and being very, very reliable. Like the RCT trend line used to be very, very reliable. PDC is still fairly reliable, but not as accurate as it used to be. The 20 EMA, the 200 EMA, they used to be dead on accurate, and they're not really that accurate anymore. So you just got to adapt to the conditions, because the conditions are going to change, and what works now is not going to work tomorrow. So if you plan on trading and plan on taking this long term, you've got to adapt to the conditions and stop trying to find magic indicators, or especially these idiots on Twitter that try to use special lingo to make it seem like they're smart and that they have this insider edge. They have this edge. They don't. They're just morons, so ignore them. So that's going to do it. Enough ranting. And so that's going to wrap it up for the recap, and thanks for watching.